Hello, this is Alessandrina, and today I wanted to talk about how we can change our emotions and our energy. And the reason why I'm creating this video, what prompted it, is a wonderful comment from one of our followers and some clarification that I'd like to make about how we can truly and essentially fundamentally and permanently change our state of energy. So there's a lot of misinformation in the collective consciousness surrounding how to change energy, and believing that with simply changing our thoughts, we can change our energy. Now, of course, changing our thoughts is going to lead to our energy changing over time. And ultimately, our subconscious mind generates most of our thoughts. So 95% of the time we are in our subconscious mind. We're not thinking the thoughts that we want to think. We are essentially receiving the thoughts that our energy and our emotions are broadcasting, generating. And so if we're reading books, or if we're saying, oh, I'm going to have positive thoughts and that's going to change my energy, yes, it is, in 5% of the time. So how important is it for us to have a process that is really complete, that is really precise, and that's going to bring about the type of results that we want? So if we want to change the way we think and change the way we feel, the only way to do that is really to work at the level of our emotions and energy, which is what's feeding our thoughts. And by doing that, now we're going to start to have new thoughts. So if you're focusing 5% of the time on creating positive thoughts, 5% of the time you will feel the same energy that is directly associated with those thoughts. If you begin to work at the level of your energy on having a state of energy and a state of emotion that is in alignment with positive thoughts, then you will start to have positive thoughts throughout the day naturally, because your state of emotion and your energy is changing. So in order to fundamentally shift your energy, what's most important is that you use different practices and processes that work at the level of your subconscious mind. Personally, and this is my own experience in my life, I had read many books, I had learned many things, and overall my life wasn't really changing. Having read, many different self-help books and books on consciousness, and watched videos and done many different trainings and learned many really useful things. It wasn't until I really started to work at the level of my subconscious, whether it was through hypnosis or other processes that really get to the root of negative thoughts, negative beliefs, negative emotions, fears, expectations, and judgments. It wasn't until I started doing that work and I fundamentally worked on my energy at the subconscious level and started to change my energy at the subconscious level, and therefore was able to have new thoughts and new perspectives, new understandings about reality, and therefore I was able to make new choices and to feel differently throughout the day. So my state of energy started changing because I was really working at a very deep level on shifting my energy where it would really make a difference, meaning in the 95% of what is generated in the subconscious mind. So continue, yes, it's wonderful to continue to cultivate positive thoughts, to read and to learn from different movies and documentaries, and really educate yourself and continue to allow your mind to change. And the mind and changing the mind is not enough. And you may have seen that in your own life. You may have seen that you might have accumulated a lot of knowledge and information about something, and still your energy and your, for instance, reactions and your interpretations and the emotions that you experience may not have changed fundamentally. And so you may be stuck in the same cycles, even though you received the information, even though you gathered new knowledge about a certain aspect of yourself or your life. So to change requires to work with the energy, to transform, to transmute the energy, to be able to really get from one state of energy to another state of energy by actually working with the energy that's here right now, not by going into the mind and then feeling differently from the mind, and then in the feelings and emotions we go right back into the same patterns and habits. So one thing to understand that can be very helpful in that process is if you understand the way that the chakra system, the energy system works. You have your first energy center, your root chakra. Then you have your second energy center, your sacral chakra. Then you have the third energy center, which is the mental chakra, the mind chakra. And that chakra is above those other chakras. So whatever is happening at the level of your first and second is going to ripple and to influence your third energy center. So if there's no change at the level of the root chakra and the sacral chakra, the navel chakra, the mind chakra, is not going to be completely changed and transformed, which is why we can cultivate positive thoughts and still will have a lot of different negative thoughts throughout the day, because if the first and second chakra are out of balance, if there are blockages at that level of your system, that creates distortion. And those distortions from the first and second energy center are going to have influence on the third energy center as the energy moves up your central channel into your chakras. Now your third chakra is influenced by those energies at the level of the first and second chakra. So this is why it's so important to work at the level of the subconscious mind and at the level of emotion, because when you're doing that, you're working, emotion is second chakra, you're working at that level of your system where you're changing fundamentally the energies in your first and second chakra. And as you change the energies in your first and second chakra, now the thoughts that are generated in the mind, in the third chakra, they start to change. So I hope this clarification helps you, that it gives you a more grounded understanding as to why it's so important to work at the level of the subconscious and to understand that the mind is not the solution to all things. It's very useful. Our mind is in so many different areas of life, is very supportive of our process of life for many, many different tasks. And it also has its limitations, meaning that the mind cannot control our emotions. And you may have seen that because with your mind, you may have wanted to feel differently, to not experience, for instance, negative emotions or negative thoughts, and yet they come, and yet you experience them. So when you understand that, and without judgment and without reacting to that with fear, you just see that it's like a system, it's a process, it's mechanical. Krishnamurti talks about the mechanical aspect of thoughts, and it is mechanical, meaning that all thoughts happen in the same way. And so when we understand that, then we can really start to fundamentally change the way we think and change the way we feel and change the way that we experience ourselves and change our energy state. I hope this was helpful. Sending you much love.